Hi, folks. Cliff from Talking Pondo here. I want to give you a quick warning about the upcoming episode. We do talk about the movie in quite a bit of detail, plot points, and so on, so there will be spoilers. And just fair warning, there is some adult language every now and then, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. Also, you can watch our latest film trilogy, Writing Frenzy, Revenge of Zoe, and The Love Song of William H. Shaw. Those are available on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Fossum, Hoopla, and Zumo. So get out there and give them a watch. I hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks for listening. The plane. He just stumbles into the best looking women, just one after the other. And I mean, half of this movie is us watching him go, I don't know, should I marry the super hot girl that's pregnant with my child, or should I not? I'm so torn. I don't know. And I'm just like, Jesus, man.
This is why I have to call it a little bit of a soft reboot, because shouldn't he have learned his lesson a few seasons back? He thought he had a VD a few seasons ago, right? And so now he's suddenly thinking he's got to go back to the doctor again. Welcome to Season 3 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Cliff and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest. Vincent Chase and Lydia Tarr have a conscious uncoupling will not be seen this week, so we may bring you the following composition. I don't know. I wasn't going to keep doing these.
Conscious uncoupling. I love it. I want more of them. I want them every episode.
All right.
A conscious uncoupling. That's great.
Because both movies are about fictional characters who are famous.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
that's about where the similarity. Well,
yeah,
there's a little bit more similarity.
Have to dig into that a little bit more. So it's Cliff and Marty doing Talking Pondo, season 3, episode 14. It's our 14. Pie episode, 314, I guess you would say.
Right. That's right. Happy Pie Day. Happy Pie episode.
Coming to you in the middle of September of 25 originally, and episode 86 overall. It's Entourage week, I guess you could say. For some reason, we paired the movie Tar with the Entourage, the movie, and realized later that they are very similar in certain respects, because they're both about fictionalized famous people. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. They have some other weird...
And they create their own fake world around it.
Yeah, their own fake world around them, exactly. And the fact that they have people around them sort of supporting them and making sure that they can be who they are, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, one person has a loyal entourage and the other person has an entourage that, isn't as loyal.
That is true. There's very different takes on, I guess you would say, cancel culture in both movies. Mm-hmm. One movie, somebody gets a sex tape released and it helps their career. Mm-hmm. In the other movie, somebody's accused of doing something that they may or may not have done, and I'm still not sure if it actually ruined their career or not. It gets very hazy by the end of the film.
Well, I mean, when you're conducting a small child's orchestra in the middle of, some rainy place in the Philippines or something, it's probably not gone well for you.
Well, I mean, not to jump too far ahead of that. Mm-hmm. We'll get back to the ending of Tar when we get into that.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So anyway, so like you said, the this week's offerings were Entourage, which is from 2015, and Tar, which is from 2022. Yeah, wow. Entourage is that old. I can't believe it.
It's crazy.
Do you want to start with Entourage?
I guess so. Yeah. Well, what is season 9 of Entourage?
Season 9. Here it comes. All right. So, season 9 of Entourage, directed by Doug Ellen, written by Doug Ellen and Rob Weiss, starring Adrian Grenier, Kevin Connolly, Jerry Ferrara. Movie star Vincent Chase, together with his boys Eric, Turtle, and Johnny, are back in business with super agent turned studio head Ari Gold on a risky project that will serve as Vince's directorial debut. So that's your kind of log line there. Mm-hmm. Here's your storyline. The movie picks up where the TV show ended. Vincent Chase is offered a role by his former agent, now studio boss Ari Gold, in a movie he is developing Vince agrees on the condition that he be allowed to direct. Nearly a year later, Vince is uncertain if the movie is ready, so he asks Ari for money to finish it. But Vince has asked for more money more than once, and Ari's bosses are not happy with how much they're spending. Ari goes to their backer to ask for more money, and he wants to see what Vince, and the backer wants to see what Vince has shot so far, but Vince won't let anyone see it. But he's planning a screening and asks the backer to come to LA with him, but he can't, so he sends his son instead. At the screening, Vince decides not to show it, but gives out DVDs. The son, after watching the movie, says he has issues with Drama, Vince's brother, who has a small role in the movie. Vince is unwilling to drop him, and when they appease the son, he says he then has issues with Vince. So as they try to fix the situation, Ari's catching heat both professionally and personally. And Vincent's friend E, who is expecting a baby with his ex Sloane, is trying to decide if he wants to get back with her. Yeah, kind of. That feels like the gossip section tell-all version of the movie, but then you realize, oh, that's really just the movie.
Yeah, your
movie is just a giant gossip tell-all movie.
You're summarizing what would have been an entire season of story arc as well that they crammed into a slightly over 2-hour movie. To me, it feels like a 6-episode season, kind of a little more rushed than season 8. But watching it again, and I think it's because it took a couple of years for it to get made from the series ending, it almost feels like a little bit of a soft reboot. Because, like, Lloyd is with, who the fuck is Lloyd getting married to all of a sudden? We've never seen this character before. And there's a few other things that don't quite completely match up, 100%. Like, why is the guy from Don Pepe's trying to kill Drama now? Because they forgot they used the same actor 3 years before, kind of thing. Right. So if you look at it like, oh, this is kind of like a do-over in a way, you can forgive some of that stuff.
Well, so my first note is 2 minutes into the film, and I've already seen 4 boobies. And then my next note is 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, and I've seen 6 boobies. Background boobies, but that still counts. I remember you made a comment. I can't remember which episode it was.
They always said that they were kind of made to do this, or they wouldn't make this movie for them. It's a studio note.
You were talking about John Landis and casual nudity of the 80s.
Oh, that's right. The Drew episode. Yeah.
And this very much feels like that's what we're going to do.
Stripes commentary.
Fuck it if you like it or if you don't like it, right? And I guess they're on Usher's boat because on the side of this big ass
boat. So
on the side of that big ass party boat, it says Usher, and I was like, "Is that Usher's yacht?" Yeah, y'all better be nice to Usher's yacht. Yeah, I right away watching the movie, I'm like, oh yeah.
In 2015, it's pretty late.
I forgot about this. I forgot about
stuff.
I forgot about
earlier.
This. It's been a while since I've seen the show, so it was an interesting jump back into the pool that is Entourage.
Especially coming to it sort of out of context, because you're usually would watch it in the order because it's a soap opera, it plays out, but you're just suddenly jumping into the movie, which I guess some people are who just have Netflix who have never seen the show before, because the movie's on Netflix, but the show is on HBO Max, I think. So
fun is when you forget a girl's name while you're fucking her. Cut to the tits.
That's actual dialogue.
That is actual dialogue, and cut to the tits is exactly what we do as soon as we say that. That's Entourage. That's Entourage, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's a piece of it anyway. That's
that's a big piece of it.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
It's not HBO. It's television.
Well,
it's not television. It's HBO.
Is it any more gratuitous than Game of Thrones?
No.
See, HBO loves to, just...
Yeah. No. But I would say that in a weird way, it's a little kind of probably a little dirt. It's like a little more in the gutter, right? A little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm not trying to defend the nudity of either of these shows. One seems to me a little more salacious than the other. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm just making fun of the show in general because I'm just like, oh fuck, I completely forgotten how like this show just rolls like here it is, weed, bitches, titties, Hollywood, let's do this. You know, this kid Eric, this redheaded kid, he's the luckiest. He has the luckiest dick on the face of the planet. He just stumbles into the best looking women, just one after the other. And I mean, half of this movie is us watching him go, I don't know, should I marry the super hot girl that's pregnant with my child, or should I not? I'm so torn. I don't know. And I'm just like, Jesus, man,
This is
come
why I
on.
have to call it a little bit of a soft reboot, because shouldn't he have learned his lesson a few seasons
It's just,
back? He thought he had a VD a few seasons ago, right? And so now he's suddenly thinking he's got to go back to the doctor again. Eric Murphy doesn't learn his lesson. And so it would
apparently
be
not.
interesting to see what would happen into the future, because it's like, oh, you have the kid, you are hooked up with Sloane. Do you keep it in your pants now, finally, Eric Murphy? I don't know. We'll probably never see a continuation of this show because it's been
I
10 years.
mean,
We don't really need one, but
why would he? I mean, this kid's dick has been blessed by the Lord himself. He seems to, again, have sex with throughout that entire fucking show.
it's more than Vincent Chase
Sex
in a
with the
way,
hot.
right?
It's almost more than Vincent Chase, where you're just like, good Lord, you worked at a Sabaros. What are we talking about here? It's
Well,
just,
that is true. That no wonder Ari hates him. See, the
right.
older you get, the more you start to side with Ari. They're like, what are you fucking assholes doing? I'm trying to tell you what to do, and you just want to be fucking crazy, and
Uh,
we don't want to do
that's
that movie,
hilarious.
Ari. We want to do. Well, you don't get to pick what you fucking get to do, guys. Not
I
yet.
mean,
Anyway.
I used to think that Turtle was the lucky motherfucker, but it's really Eric. Like, out of them all, Eric is the luckiest cat in that whole group. Where he's just like, oh, another pretty girl. Oh, look at that, another one. Oh, wow, that one too?
And no consequences.
And no consequences.
I don't even get into a fist fight with Seth Green. Well, no, there was that one time where he.
Yeah, there's one thing, but at another time, one of them helps me out and helps me settle a deal for my buddy for the Aquaman 2 movie. You know, so it's
Hilarious.
It's yeah.
Well, and then
Anyway.
Turtle becomes a millionaire in the show. But see,
Right.
I think the movie shows you that it's really been the story of drama's struggle. He's the one who keeps always fucking getting kind of the low end of the shaft throughout. And he went out there first in the lore. He's the older brother, so he got his career started then. So it is kind of sweet to see this movie end with him finally being vindicated.
Yeah.
Who knows how big his head got after that in the show wise, but it is kind of nice to see drama get,
Skinny Turtle fucking sucks. Give me Fat Turtle.
Well, they
want
point
Fat
that
Turtle
out,
back.
you
Give
know.
me Fat Turtle.
I'd like to make jokes about that.
Fat Turtle. Jerry, congratulations on getting healthy, being
course.
fit. Congratulations, of course. But I like Fat Turtle. There's a certain kind of dumb charm to the film and to the series. I'd say to the series, but the film kind of lacks it. Like this is a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we've gotten to the point where we're having trouble really seeing the image clearly with this film.
Yeah, I think
it's very predictable. You can see it coming a mile away. And it's not a lot of the stuff that were kind of raunchy is the word I was looking for earlier. But a lot of the stuff that was kind of funny, raunchy and stuff it's not playing right anymore.
Well, it's part of the big screen expansion of it.
Yeah, maybe.
I actually saw this at the theater, and it was kind of nice to see their world opened up larger. But it does make certain bits like that, like Ari and Mrs. Gold in their therapy session. Those always worked in a tight little TV thing. But you open it up wide, and it's almost like the beats and the timing are different because you're now adapting television to film, and you're trying to go larger. And it like you're saying, there's something kind of almost empty in a way. You have to kind of squint to see it the same.
It is fun to star watch. Like it's, you're like, oh shit, there's Favreau, there's Bob Saget. Oh shit, there's fucking Kelsey Grammer. Oh shit, there's There's Rob Gronkowski. Oh shit, there's Usher. You know.
Blink and you'll miss David Arquette, another Mad Monster, because of the calves.
Yeah.
Drama was almost in Swingers.
Oh shit, there's Gary Busey. You know. I wonder how this show would have done if it was on cable in the 80s.
Ooh, it'd be
Like I feel like it would be like a long running huge hit of a show. I don't know why.
Yeah, the world hadn't seen anything quite like that then.
No.
Yeah.
No. And especially exposing Hollywood in that way would have been such a completely different.
Yeah, we were still, we didn't know stuff back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
but it has that 80s casual nudity, and so in some other 80s traits that I'm like, I wonder what this would have done.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of late to the game. 2015, most movies by 2011 had stopped that type of stuff. Just because the winds change. People want to see different things in movies. I don't know. To me, the weak point of this movie is the Texans' story arc. They don't really have a real ending to their story. They don't really have much of a beginning of it either. I think it was maybe a little rushed. Like a lot of the things Billy Bob Thornton says don't make any sense, especially at the end when it's like, and well, at least don't embarrass your son in front. What are you saying?
I have all this money. You should kiss my ass even when I'm wrong.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Basically,
because it's like, get out of here.
Yeah,
it's just
you're
kind
wrong.
of weird.
I'll say this: Haley Joel at some points in this movie is acting fucking circles around most of the clowns.
Oh yeah, he does a great job with his character. They just don't give him enough to do with it.
They don't give him enough to do. You're absolutely right.
That Travis character, he's the amalgam of every out to get Vince antagonist Vince ever had. He has little shades of everything he's been up against. So in a way, it makes sense that in the movie, and he's trying to level up to directing, he comes against a financier that is now way worse than any big boss that he had encountered before. The stakes get higher, even if the storyline's a little muddied. But they're trying to cram a season into a movie, so...
It's like we get to that scene where we meet the financiers. The movie starts out with big party. The guys all come back to Hollywood. They need money to finish the film. They go to Ari, and Ari's like, look, I have to go to the financiers to get this money. We've already asked for money already. We're over budget.
We won't take Turtle's money.
Right. We'll have to fly out to fucking...
does he have?
We'll have to fly out to Texas. Right. So they fly out to Texas. He talks to fucking Haley Joel Osment, who's the son of Billy Bob Thornton. I'm sorry. Damn, I gotta quit that knocking. Anyways, he's the son of Billy Bob Thornton. And he doesn't get the money. And they want to see a cut before they're going to give him any more money, right? So the kid comes down, and he watches the film, or he's there to watch the film, but he's immediately mad, I guess, that he's not had his ass kissed properly. And then when he finds out that Vince is having sex with Emily Ratajkowski, he loses his little shit ass mind and decides to basically kind of destroy the film.
Yeah,
right?
He's kind of like the perfect example of the outsider finding their way into the business and then fucking going ape shit and thinking it's one way. He's very much like that groupie that Turtle found a picture of and flew out in one of those early episodes. Out of her fucking mind. Like, and they almost look at each other like, oh my God, like everything that's coming out of his mouth is like, you don't belong here, dude. You don't understand how this works. And it's also one of my notes is, well, I think there's like things to be learned from each episode of Entourage as far as show business goes in a way. And since the movie was so long, I found 4 of the things. And one of those was recognize the true assholes. Because see, a lot of people look at Entourage and they go, "Oh, this is broy. They're all a bunch of shitheads. They only care about themselves. They're womanizing, blah blah blah." But then when you sit down and you watch this and you go, "Oh, the real assholes are the characters like Travis." You see how everybody else is, they're kind of more stand-up people, and the people that they're involved in their shenanigans with are in the exact same mind frame they are. Therefore, they're all using each other. Doesn't necessarily make it better, but it's their adult business. And then you get this outsider coming in, basically, wanting to shit all over everything and thinking, I have money, I'm owed stuff. But yeah, recognize the true assholes is one of my. I have 3 other lessons from it as well, so we'll get to those in a minute.
there is so much bad background acting in this film. Like if you just like, especially during the party scenes and the yacht scenes, just watch the background actors as they act, and it's so bad. You're just like, oh my god, dude! Like,
yeah, they've
you
always
get
had some really bad extras sometimes.
it's really rough. It's funny. It's very funny, but very rough. I love the punching the kitty cat picture when he's in with the therapist. That's great. But an hour into this movie, I've checked my watch several times
Yeah,
already. Where I'm just like,
it's like a binge watch. It's too
it's
much all
just
in one setting.
it's it that, and I think it's unneeded. Like
Well, that too.
I think leaving Vince, having met Alice's character and getting married and moving on,
Oh, I
and
think
Ari
this is a
leaving the
better
business
ending.
was kind of an ending. I liked that ending better,
I think this has a better
rather than
ending. Yeah.
coming back and now we're just retreading
Yeah, the undoing is
everything
the
else.
part that's
You know,
unnecessary, but I do kind of like this ending better. But I know what you mean. I like that other ending too. So that's why I say
yeah.
it's a reboot, right? Because that was the real ending, and this is like, well, we got to undo it so they can come back.
Well, and it's and really in the end, it's all about some dude getting cock blocked and being upset about it, and it just seems like, fuck, is that really the lesson that we want to learn here? Is that really,
Yeah, that's not one of my main 4
come
things
on?
here, though.
Um,
To me, one of the more main takeaways was something like, be careful what you wish for. Dramas want to be famous at any fucking cost. And then the sex tape goes viral, and now everybody's paying attention to him, and he doesn't want people to pay attention to him. He's suddenly become King Midas. Everything he touched turns to poontang. Wasn't that the line from the party animal? And then also, it's also key to keep your financiers happy if you can, so you don't get into this crap in the first place. That might be one of the most important lessons from this movie as far as
well,
show business goes.
maybe the most important lesson from this movie is that you force your talent to stick to the budget that you agreed upon in the first friggin' place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
if
yeah,
you
but
have if the budget is 85 million, the budget's
you
85
know.
million.
And he said, "Well, we just said that, so you'd give us this." But he pulled out a masterpiece, even though by watching that
Mhm.
short little clip in the movie, you're not really led to believe that it's an awesome movie. But it's hard to make your movie within the movie look awesome, especially if you
Yes,
don't have
yeah.
a large budget. But my biggest lesson from this movie, I think, is really persistence is key. The drama had been at it so fucking long, he never stopped. He eventually won. So there you go. Don't ever fucking give up. You want to be a filmmaker? Be a filmmaker. Don't let anything get in your way.
Mhm.
Look at what fucking all
Mhm.
the crap the fictional character Johnny Drama went through in his life.
Mhm.
Boy, he had some fucking fucked up ups and downs on that show.
That furry shit was some of my fucking funniest stuff. Um, this is a drinking, smoking movie. If you smoke with this movie or drink with this movie, you will enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
more than you would sober. Um, Another thing I noticed is that even throughout this series and throughout the movies, even Ari rarely gets to ride in the car with the entourage.
Yeah, it's
As
occasional.
much as he enables it, protects it, makes sure it's good to go, he doesn't get to be a part of it. Vegas is maybe an
Yeah,
exception,
that's a good example.
but for the most part, he doesn't get to be. He is part of the entourage, but he isn't part of the entourage.
Right. He's their mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Same for Billy Walsh. Sometimes he's part of it, sometimes he's not. And it's no secret that the writing style and the camaraderie of characters in the dialogue is heavily influential on us. I know it is on me. If you look at our trilogy, I mean, we got Billy Shaw, who is basically, he spelt Walsh backwards and dropped the fucking one of like the L from it, and you got Billy Shaw. And what made me laugh is because you watch, seriously, that's where I get the name Shaw from. So when you watch Writing Frenzy, right, and there's our Billy hitting his flask at the memorial service, and then you cut to years later and you watch the Entourage movie, and there's their Billy hitting the flask at the wedding at the end. Always put a smile on my face because I was like, oh, of all the things that they inspired me, now we got to one of the ideas first. So it just kind of was like a full circle there where I was like, look at him drinking that fucking flask like fucking Jonathan Northover. It tickled me. Anyways, Writing Frenzy now available on Fossum and Zumo. I always bring it back to an ad for our stuff.
I always felt much more inspired by things like Clerks.
Well, there's all of that, but this was one.
But also Odd Couple.
Oh yeah.
Like that was a big for me. That was that patter was big. Fucking Army Hammer is in this movie. Fucking Martin Landau is in this movie. It just, again, it's
George
a fun movie.
Takei is in this.
Yeah, it's a fun movie to kind of star watch because you're like, oh my god, that person too, awesome. But yeah, it's
ends with Lloyd's wedding.
My
God. I have a question.
Yes.
Why do they have a small TV outside? Isn't that thing going to get messed up?
I have no idea.
You know, when they're watching the thing at the beginning, it's like, first of all, it's a tiny TV. And why do you have a TV outside?
Because somebody said put a TV on the set so we can watch it. We'll put it in the thing. And they said yes. But yeah, I can't say. I mean, like I enjoy Entourage, but I don't think it's aging super well. Like the more I look back on it and watch it, the more I feel like it's kind of dumb. Well, but it always kind of was.
But some seasons are more interesting than others. I think
seasons are definitely more interesting than others. I agree with
probably more interesting than season 6 and 7, but still they'd kind of run. But I'd watch it if it was still on because I like the dynamic of it. You know?
It's to me unneeded, not needed. You should have just ended the show. I found it god awful, but also fun. Like I have to admit it, it's fun. I'm not a prude. I enjoy that kind of humor. I think it's funny and fun, and it's just
Oh yeah, and I think at its heart that it's not really sexist.
I checked my watch so many times. It was like, it's so much better in some other seasons. So for me, it's 2 stars.
You giving it 2? I give it a 3 just because I unabashedly enjoy even the season where Eric has nothing but crazy girlfriends, and it's like, what happened to the Vince storyline, right?
But they should call that show Eric and His Lucky Cock.
Well, he's first on the call sheet.
Of course he is. Mm-hmm. He and his cock should be first on the call sheet.
What was the original name of the program? I mean, when they bring it back like Sex and the City, they'll change the name, So did I have anything else on that? I think that might have been... Yeah, I always think that was weird. Like, if you know the show and you saw season 8 and you know that Turtle set up a restaurant called Don Pepe's for his friends who live on the East Coast, and the actor who played the guy who he made the restaurant for now suddenly shows up in the movie playing the boyfriend of the woman that Drama has phone sex with and says, I'm going to find you and kill you. And you go, wait a minute, I was just binge watching this 5 episodes ago. You were the guy running Don Pepe's. But see, a couple times throughout the series, actors play different roles. They're just usually not that packed close together. So, whoops. I actually asked Doug Ellen about it once on Twitter, and he was basically like, "Yeah, we like working with that guy, and well, we forgot." So that's what happens. So I think that was everything I had to say on that movie. Persistence is key. Never give up. Is that might be what the next movie's about as well.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep. Oh, sorry.
So what is this movie where Kate Blanchett's giving me these Martha Stewart vibes? What is
Martha
Tar?
Stewart vibes.
In moments.
Martha Stewart
In
vibes?
moments.
All
In
right.
moments.
Interesting. All right, so here we go. So, Tar, 2022. Set in the international world of Western classical music, the film centers on Lydia Tarr, widely considered one of the greatest living composer-conductors and the very first female director of a major German orchestra. This is directed by Todd Field, written by Todd Field, stars Kate Blanchett, Naomi Merlant, Nina Hoss. Let's see your storyline. Having achieved an enviable career few could even dream of, renowned conductor-composer Lydia Tarr, the first female principal music director of the Berlin Philharmonic, is at the top of her game. As a conductor, Lydia not only orchestrates, she manipulates. As a trailblazer, the passionate virtuoso leads the way in the male-dominated classical music industry. Lydia prepares for the release of her memoir while juggling work and family. She is also willing to take up one of her most significant challenges, a live recording of Gustav Mahler's Symphony No. 5. However, forces that even the imperious maestro couldn't control slowly chip away at Lydia's elaborate facade, revealing the genius's dirty secrets and the insidious, corrosive nature of power. What if life knocks Lydia off her pedestal?
Is that what happens?
Kind of.
Such a weird, open for interpretation kind of ending. Let's jump right to the ending. We hinted on earlier. So I had to look up the Wikipedia. I tend to do that anyways to get, trivia research about the film. Apparently she's at some cosplay convention scoring video game music for some popular video game. So I'm like,
at the end?
Yeah, I'm like, so did they just shift her to something else?
What?
Or we're
No,
gonna
at
rebuild
the
you
end,
here? Or that's what Wiki says. That's it says what the ending is. Me, I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Did we watch the same
people in costumes? What's going on here?
Interesting.
Yeah, it said she was composing video game music at that point. I'm thinking, did her publicist go, "We're gonna fucking put you over here and rebuild your ass over"? So I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what her publicist said. Was we have to go low and we have to rebuild you and so on. So we're gonna put you on the fringe of it and let you rebuild yourself. That's exactly what she's doing.
Weird. So weird.
So speaking of weird, Todd Field to me is an interesting cat. He hasn't made a lot of films.
Not a lot.
But yet he's in the bedroom, if I'm not mistaken, was nominated for a fuckload of Oscars and I think won a few.
I don't think I ever saw it.
I didn't either. But it's Tom Wilkinson, Sissy Spacek. Let's see here. Nominated for 5 Oscars.
Yeah, Best Picture nominee.
Best Picture nominee. Let's see here. Yeah, it didn't win for anything, but nominated for 5 Oscars. So I know. So here's a weird thing about Todd Field that I know. There is a Netflix documentary called, I don't know if it's Netflix. It was on Netflix when I saw it. I'll put it that way. There's a documentary about baseball called The Battered Bastards of Baseball. And it is a documentary about Kurt Russell's dad, Bing Russell. And Bing Russell was an actor who was in like 100 and some odd episodes of Gunsmoke. He was a 50s and 60s classic actor. He was also one of the very first guys. When he was a kid, he lived in Florida. And he became a bat boy and a dugout monkey for the Yankees. And so he knew DiMaggio and all these other Yankees, these famous guys. They would, during spring training, come down to Florida and he would run around with them. So years later, he loved baseball. Years later, he's acting in Hollywood, and he decides to take a camera and put his kid he's been teaching his kid baseball, and he puts his kid in front of the camera and records his kid, and becomes the first guy to ever record on film the fundamentals of baseball: how to catch, how to throw, how to steal, so on and so forth. Right. And the kid, of course, is Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
So then Bing retires from acting, and he goes up to the Northwest, up in, I think it's Seattle, and he buys a minor league team. He just buys it and brings Kurt up, and I think Kurt plays a few games or whatever, and he puts together, it's like a movie it's like Necessary Roughness or something, like a Caddyshack sports movie. He puts together this ragtag band of athletes who end up winning their entire division when before they were so bad that the team, nobody even funded the team. Nobody wanted it. He bought it for a song. Right. And he does so well with it that the Major League Baseball Association takes the team away from him. And he ends up suing the Major League Baseball Association and goes to court over it. They have to go to arbitration over it. And the Major League Baseball Association ends up having to pay him like $250,000 in the 70s, $250,000 for taking the team back over. So, but the reason that, what does this have to do with Todd Field? The bat boy on the team that Bing Russell had was Todd Field.
Mm.
That's how he met Bing Russell. And I wonder if that's kind of how he got some of his ins into Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, a few doors knocked down. Because again, when you look at the guy's resume, he's got some acting chops. He's got 20 or 30 acting roles, but there's not a lot of writing, directing. And if it is, it's shorts. He's got very few big features under his belt. Now, I'm not detracting from his talent, because
that seems like he's selective.
I think he's selective, and I think he's one of these guys that just kind of germinates one every 5 or 6, 7 years or something.
Like the Waking Ned Devine director.
Yeah, like the Waking Ned Devine guy. Exactly. Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah. Anyway, so Tar. So starts off with the credits. Todd puts
the credits
that's right. At the very beginning of the movie. And makes you sit through all of them.
The movie's well over 2 hours. And then the first, it is exactly 5 minutes to the fucking second of the opening credits. And then I went 5 minutes in, I'm going to get back to this. I'm not ready to watch this right now. But it's funny because it's kind of nice. It gives you a chance to find your seat and get in, get your popcorn, like the old ways it used to be.
It's like an orchestra warming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're
and then I thought the end credits won't be very long, because of this. And I think they were a little truncated because a lot of it was put up at the front,
I found the opening song over the credits to be quite brutal, where I was just like, oh,
I don't even remember.
It was a bit brutal.
But when it opens on that interview where they're just, kind of casually talking to each other, I really was immediately sucked in by just the realism of it. It really felt like you were watching an inside the actor studio. I'm like, oh, okay, I already like the camera choices, the back and forth, everything about the movie was completely pulling me in at that point, that early on. Yeah, I was very taken with that.
He creates a world and puts you into it immediately, and you're immediately like, who is this character? Who is she? What is going on? What are these different little clues he's leaving for me to watch? Why is she checking her email? Why is she deleting her email? Why is she trusting her assistant so much? What's going on? Why is she lying to her wife? Over and over and over again, question after question after question.
I just like that subtle style, the direction, the beats, the pacing, everything about it was like, it's funny. I told one of my coworkers, "Oh, I'm watching Tar this week for the podcast," and they laughed and they said, "That's probably the most un-Marty movie I can think of. Tell me what you think of that." And so for the first half hour of it, I'm like, "What? This is totally like some kind of crazy tangent that I would go off on and do this type of thing." For the first 36 minutes of the movie, my dumbass thought Lydia Tarr was a real person, and I was watching another fucking biopic.
You actually thought that?
I don't know anything about classical music. And the movie pulls you along to make you feel like it's about a real person. So it is like Entourage.
So let me
I
quickly
stopped
say
the
that
movie and
you
found
are
out this was fiction.
you are not alone with that.
Mm-hmm.
There are many people. Nissa and I both thought the same thing. Is this a real
Is this
person?
a real person? Yeah.
And we found that if you'll find other people online who thought the same thing, I thought this was a real person. He's so good. He creates such a real person in a real world that you
Mm-hmm.
think, well, this is just her. She's just doing a biopic about an actual
Yeah.
person, right? No, no.
And so that first 36 minutes or so, that's the part of the movie that I really, really liked. The whole uh, talk about cancel culture, about, and the way I got from that was like, it's the whole ultimate separating the art from the artist discussion. And I thought that
Very
was
much
cool
so.
that they're bringing it up in the movie because
I agree.
really at the end of the day, all it is left is the notes and the space in between the notes. It's not about
Exactly.
anything that was left behind. It's not like these
Exactly.
people fucking killed people or anything. They had 18 kids or whatever it
Exactly.
was. Big fucking deal. But
Exactly.
then the
Hmm.
movie shifted away from that and it got long and kind of muddied and was about her personal life, and it's still interesting and it's beautiful to look at, but I wanted more of that other movie about, but that's not what this movie was.
It it's I mean, it's really about someone who, like,
It's more
one of the things I
Kubrickian.
like, one of the things Kubrickian is a good way to put it. One of the things I like about this movie is that I haven't seen a lot of movies try and take a stance on cancel culture at all,
True. True.
other than to completely bow to it. So that was nice to see her tell this kid. He's like, because he's, that this kid where he's like, well, as a gay, BIPOC type of person, why do I care about some misogynistic, cisgender man in his music? And she's just like, are you really?
Yeah, it's not about.
Like, it's not like you're missing the entire plot on this. You've missing the entire point, and he's fine to miss it. He would rather. And what strikes me is the piece that he plays, that he's conducting, is such a piece of kind of garbage. It's one of these experimental pieces
Mm-hmm.
that nobody's ever going to listen to. So to me again, it's kind of like somebody going, "Oh man, you don't listen to fucking Big Star." Like, "Oh man, fucking they were going to be the greatest band of the '80s." Like, well, they weren't.
And I mean, I get
You
what the
know,
movie does. It's like, oh, and now she's gonna go through the cancel of it, and it's like,
Yeah. Well, it does start to bite her in the ass. And I do love how he ends up taking the video of her in the class with him, and that's cut to make her look like a complete piece of shit. Because I feel like she's very right within this in the classroom where he gets mad about it, calls
mm-hmm.
her a bitch, and storms off. But she's very much like, if you're this myopic with your view,
Yeah.
you're gonna miss the true point of being an artist, which is, like we've talked about, put the art to the side and put the artist to the side and look at the art. Period. There's a reason that Bach uses. I love. There's a whole piece where they just talk about the fact that Bach decides to take a piece of Mozart's
Mm-hmm.
concertos and just dump it into his own note for note. And it's just like there's a reason why they do that. It's the same thing when the Beatles would listen to a damn Beach Boys record and go, well, fuck, okay, well, we got to figure out, like, Paperback Writer is a direct response to, some of the, what is it, Pet Sounds, that type of stuff. So you get these artists and these writers uh, talking to each other in a language that you can only listen to. You can barely understand it. You know what I mean? So I think that's fun. I think the dude really understands music because he
Mm-hmm.
really dived into that stuff
Yeah.
and made it feel very real. Very real. I really enjoyed that part of it.
This is kind of a twist on Whiplash in a way. She's the kid and the teacher as one.
Mm-hmm.
She even attacks the guy at the podium at the end, which was
Yeah.
very
Oh
reminiscent
God, I
of
love that
Whiplash.
so much.
Yeah.
Like, there's that scene where she's put her hair back and all that, and she kind of nods to that person as she walks by because you think, well, maybe she's here for a thing, and then she rushes out on the stage and just tackles that dude and then stands up and tries to start conducting. Oh my God, I laughed so hard. but I was also kind of, it's that nervous kind of horrified laugh of like, holy shit,
Yeah.
did that just happen?
It's like, uh-oh, she went too
Mm-hmm.
far, and now
Mm-hmm.
she's giving them all the ammo they need so she can be swept away to Singapore to make video game music.
It's so well written. Like I mean, he wrote, produced, and directed this thing, and he did such a good job with it. It's a, and I think some people would say it talks too much about art and music, and it languishes in it. I like that. I want to see somebody have an intelligent discussion. I want to see a movie that works on multiple levels, right? Like there's enough Bull Durhams out there. Give me something like Tar that's trying to talk about a bunch of different things and working through themes. You know what I mean? I don't mind that. Like
Yeah.
I was glad to have it.
I think the first, 45 minutes of it or so is strong enough that I can forgive where it kind of, for me, feels like it meanders for the rest of the movie and just kind of ends. Because I think it's sharp enough in that part and then through the rest of its ties that it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely a good movie. It's just, I thought it was leading me one way and then it went a whole other thing.
Well, it's one of her great quotes of the movie is, he's calling her white males his composers, and she says, well, if box work can be reduced to his sex, religion,
Then what
origin, or
happened to
whatever,
you? Yeah.
then so can yours.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you'll always just be a gay composer or a BIPOC composer. Is that what you want to be? Or do you just want to be a composer known as a great composer?
Exactly.
And I think that's very, very fair.
I like this more than Oppenheimer. And I thought Oppenheimer was good, but I like this more.
I'd watch this again over Oppenheimer any day of the week. She's such a megalomaniac, like worried about herself and her work, but just a master manipulator. Takes her own wife's pills.
Oh, I didn't know what was going on with that storyline.
Yeah, she's taking her wife's pills, not telling her. I also bet that the sound on this film was really well done. I bet this on like a really nice home theater system turned up. I bet this sounds great.
Yeah, it was one of those where I always had to turn it down for fear of blaring the neighbors out when they play the music.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of good performances in this. Yeah. Even the weird music, like you were saying, there's nothing played poorly throughout. They purposely made sure that everything's real professional sounding, and I was like, oh man, is it going to be? And then she goes through the struggle, but she finally gets the recording. It's like, no, that's not what this really is.
That's not what this is about.
Gets removed.
This is a complete fall
which
from
is
grace.
What's set up in the beginning. It just I didn't know the cancel thing was going to happen to her.
Well, I mean, and look, I'll say this, the balls that she has to put together this big piece with this orchestra in Berlin, bring in this Russian girl who's never really played with the orchestra, and then manipulate her first chair celloist to go, oh, well, we should probably have tryouts for that big piece I want to include, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a real shit move. It's a real shitty thing to do.
She's like that Whiplash guy, but in a different way. She gets what she wants out of the performance, but she manipulates in a different way. He screams and throws chairs. She's sneakier about it.
Well, it's like, no way that I'm first chair. That's my part. What are you talking about? Try out.
No, that is my part. I'm giving it to you.
I'm giving it to you. Exactly.
Interesting double feature, Whiplash and Tar. Yeah,
that would be an interesting double feature.
You'd get Whiplash.
But yeah, she makes first chair audition for the big cello solo so she can put the girl she wants to have sex with in her place.
Is that what happened? Because
it seemed that's like exactly what she did.
Flirty, but the movie's ambiguous enough that it doesn't take sides in a way, so you can interpret it in all these different ways. Yeah.
But what happened was she brings the girl. She doesn't tell her wife that she's bringing the girl to New York with her, and then when she sees the girl in their hotel room and she's like, "You want to get dinner?" and she's like, "No, I'm going to go to bed." And then catches her going out with some dude that she's met in New York. She realizes, oh, this isn't going to be a thing between us. And that's when she turns on her and throws it away. And then it kind of everything starts to fall apart on her.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of drifting at that point. Maybe I didn't pay attention. I did think it was a little too long.
the death of her lover is what begins to unravel Tar's world. When what's her name when the girl commits
Oh yeah,
suicide,
that weird twist.
that's what begins to
Mm-hmm.
unravel her world.
Yeah, very Kubrickian, very sharp, deliberate shots. Feels like an old movie, like how The Holdovers really wanted to be a Hal Ashby movie. This feels like it really wants to be a Kubrick movie.
Yeah, like a Kubrick or a
Right down to the credits at the beginning.
yeah, I hear that.
But it does a good job of
There,
it.
there's a character named Jimmy Levine in this, and I was laughing because I was like, oh, that's Nick's brother, Jimmy Levine.
Mm-hmm. This is the same universe as Entourage. It could be.
This has a bit of swimming with sharks in it too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
A little bit of
Updated version of that in a way.
That boss assistant kind of relationship, and her assistant screwing her over pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the movie makes you want to sympathize with Tar to an extent, because it doesn't outwardly start pointing blame at her. It shows things that are shady, but you don't really. Because
honestly, up until the cello thing, I was with her because it would have been like, well, that girl,
that's where
maybe she was crazy,
bad mistakes. Yeah.
But when she starts manipulating the orchestra so she can get the cello girl in, so she can try and have sex with her, I was like, oh yeah, she's shady. It's like finding out Tucci's fucking around in Big Night.
Yeah, it makes the movie not as interesting.
So what did we learn about this movie, Marty? What we learned was always take care of the people who take care of you.
Mm.
Always, because if she had given that young girl, remember she forces out the guy. She goes, oh, you need to go on tour and conduct. It's time for you to go out. And the guy's like, I've been here forever. And she's supposed to give it to that girl who's her assistant, and she doesn't.
Mm.
And her assistant screws her over at that point. Always take care of the people who are taking care of you.
Yep.
Always. Especially if you're a fucking sociopath.
They're all sociopaths. What was the thing where she went looking for her and there was like a wolf, or she's chased by a dog, or it's one of the weirder parts of the movie.
Yeah. The weirdest part of the movie to me, the weirdest part is where she's at that, because she keeps that separate residence where she stays to work.
Oh, yeah.
And she's there, and she gets a knock on the door. And it's the old woman, and she brings her into her apartment where the other old woman is on the floor and collapsed, and she helps her sit her up.
I'm getting Give Me Liberty flashbacks and shit.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then Tar runs back into her apartment and immediately strips all her clothes off and starts taking a Purell bath.
Oh,
so she's just Purelling her body, like not even showering, just Purell immediately all over herself.
Of the many long oneers.
Yeah, another big long oneer. Yep.
Advantage. You could tell it's all manipulated the way that it's all framed, and it's very deliberate, I should say.
You could tell that this cat had a plan for his movie. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he was going to shoot. He knew what he was going to get. This is not an accidental film.
No.
I mean, I don't know how much improv would be in it, but I doubt very much, because
not much. It's
so much of it is technically precise.
Even if it goes in places that I was like, it's still precise in what it's doing. And like I said in the first part, I was really into the beginning of it, and the style and the way it's shot, and so much for the rest of it too. Even if the story wasn't exactly,
it wasn't the story you were expecting,
but I still appreciated it all. And so I come away going, it is kind of a non-Marty movie in a way, but in other ways, it's very, very much a movie of my way of thinking and stuff. If I was completely unchecked, if I didn't have an editor going, "You're going too far, dude," it would probably end up more like Tar.
I think it's layered, and I would honestly even maybe encourage you to go back and give it another watch 6 months, a year from now, or 2 years from now, No, you just to see where your head is at and see where your perspective is at, because you might see it a bit different. Because I think it's layered. I think
What's going on? It's like
it's one of the
Nashville. You
things I
did
love
last
about it is that
weekend. Yeah.
it's trying to comment on a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
things all at once. It's trying to comment on power dynamics. It's trying to comment on music. It's trying to comment on art in general, separating the art from the artist. It's trying to comment on that. It's trying to comment on Me Too in general.
Both
So
movies are doing too much.
there's a lot going on, but I think it handles it pretty fucking
Right.
well. You know, I mean, compared to some of the messes I've seen from others. And again, it has the balls to make it that subject matter kind of centered to its theme
Mm-hmm.
and plot,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is ballsy. I don't see a lot of movies do. And if I do, again, they seem to be, this one seems to be a little more ambiguous about what, not where it stands on Me Too, but like how that works, right? Whereas most movies I've seen that are about Me Too are very much like,
This
yeah,
movie's
fuck
more.
them.
This is an impartial
This is
movie.
very
And
much
that's
a
what the
kind of,
Kubrickian thing, where it feels almost
yeah,
emotionless because it's that kind of
mhm,
just sleek and sheer and
yeah,
sterile.
yeah,
But then that
yes,
allows you to bring your own
your own self into it,
opinions to it.
and
Yeah,
you start putting your own
it's
thoughts and
not saying
exactly,
bad, good. It's saying is.
exactly, or is not.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me, you decide.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is the brilliance. That's what art should do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about this before. It's one of the reasons when we had the Hoys on, that was like, this fucking movie is but by the end of it, we realize, well, I did get a very visceral experience out of it, and art is required. Art's main design is to get a response out of you, good or bad.
Right.
So anyway, I liked this one actually quite a bit. I think it's really well made. You got anything else you want to talk about with it?
Let me see here. I enjoyed that. There was that. All that's left is the notes, which was my words, not the movies, I think. And yeah, people were telling me that this wasn't like
Oh,
Whiplash at all. It does totally have some things in common. It's totally different, but it does have some things
think
in
about
common.
think about this from a storytelling and from a writing perspective. Without that little girl, she seems like a monster to me. But like when the little girl, she would be much more
Yeah,
monstrous. I
it's
would
like
say it
Ari
that way.
without kids.
Exactly. The little girl gives her some humanity and some like, oh, she's not a complete sociopath, because I mean, any parent who would basically go into a room and hold their child's leg until they fell asleep and then fall asleep themselves is obviously a pretty decent parent,
Hold my foot.
right? Hold my foot. Exactly. Hold my
Which is
foot.
so odd
Right.
that stuck with
It's
me. Hold
very
my foot.
odd. And what'd she do? She went with it, held the foot, and I love the scene. I love the thing of her threatening that kid on the playground. Fantastic.
Oh, right. What
You
did
know,
that remind? Like an Uncle Buck vibe or something.
it did. It did. It had this. Anyway, I loved
But
it.
it's very much like you're saying, it's very layered. And if you revisit it, you
Mhm,
probably grab more out of it. And that's what happened to me with Nashville, where I
yeah,
went
I hear
back
you.
and I went, I didn't even fucking connect it to. And then it became something different to me I was just like, what is this
I mean,
mess? And then I ended up going, oh, I see what they were doing.
I mean, by the end of this movie, it's a woman on a short leash. She's losing it. Like when everything's crumbling around her, she's losing it until finally at the end she attacks that replacement conductor.
Yep.
It's so
And that was
great.
it. It was like
This,
they got her exactly where they wanted her the whole time.
the same conductor who stole her fucking notes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is perfect.
I give it 3.5. I mean, it's not like the greatest thing that I've ever seen, but I can't go lower than that because the movie's too impactful in parts. So
It's just well made. It's well written. It's layered. It's done right. Kate Blanchett just chews the scenery in some of these scenes where she is just on fire. She's a joy to watch in a lot of it.
yeah, especially if I'm giving the other movie a 3, I can't give this
Yeah,
lower than the other movie. That would be silly.
locking onto her and watching her go through this film was a lot of fun. So 4
I
stars.
do love the other movie as well. So these were both good today.
So if you would give an Entourage a 2.5, would you have given Tar a 3?
I would have had to at least, because it just seemed too weird. Because clearly Tar has more depth than Entourage. Entourage is it's a TV show they made a movie out of. It's a continuation. They've been on. I mean, the show was already over a decade old at that point, and they were still going. The fact that it has any charm at all is a testament. Mm-hmm. So, if any of you out there are listening, wow, I'm surprised you actually listened, and thank you.
Thank you.
We're just filling an hour here.
Thank you.
Don't take it personally. Like last week, we talked about Give Me Liberty and Strange Darling. And so then I cut to a long time later, somebody's talking about Strange Darling on Twitter. I mentioned some fucking non sequitur about some rumor I'd heard about the movie. And the director of Strange Darling shows up in the conversation. And the clip was, well, we did a podcast. So if you listen to that podcast, we're just doing, hey, who the fuck am I? I'm some schmo over here making a podcast. No matter what my opinion is, your movie is out there and it made it somewhere. Isn't that funny how Twitter works like that? Where you're like, occasionally there are real people.
It was a very kind of oh moment where you're like, oh, my bad.
I was like, I didn't confuse. I just said that I had heard that people said that. Because he was
very
like, no, I
clearly and quickly refuted the shit
out
of that.
That's cool. Which also means he's probably heard this bullshit before. So he's ready to go, no. But so watch TJ Darling again, people.
TJ, Mr. Molnar, if you're out there, is it JT? JT, sorry. Mm-hmm. JT Molnar, if you're out there, sir, I really enjoyed your movie.
Right?
Thought it was fun. Good stuff. Do another one. And make sure you put filmed in 35 millimeter right at the front of it.
You might as well. Make a trend out of it this time, right?
Oh, shit.
Like, oh, man. Well, it's just a podcast, dude.
It's just a podcast, man. Don't take it personally.
No matter what I say. You're already fucking successful, so what does it matter?
Fucking Gallner smokes the best cigarette on screen of anybody I've ever fucking seen.
Cigarette smoking acting coming back. Yeah, I think there might be some... I think there might be some cigarette smoking acting in the movie I'm going to give you next week. I mean, by the time we record
let's save your ass and bring you back to the movie we're going to watch next week.
By the time we record this episode, we'll be done with Mad Monster because my ass got sick again and we delayed the recording. I was going to give you Mad Monster movies leading up to, but look at this one as an epilogue to Mad Monster as I squeeze one more Mad Monster roughly themed movie into the lineup for next week. Your film is finally time for Martin Scorsese. It's After Hours with Griffin Dunn. Yes, more weird Cheech and Chong. I already did Yellowbeard, so there's more weird Cheech and Chong.
That's an excellent pick.
A strange entry into the world of Martin Scorsese.
Well, this should be an interesting double then.
Double? We going to In-N-Out Burger.
Going to In-N-Out Burger. We need double animal style with some fries. I'll take a strawberry shake on the side.
Strawberry shake.
Strawberry shake. That's an old joke. Okay, so going top to bottom on the list here, the next movie that I have for you is Warlock.
Warlock with Julian Sands?
No, and I knew that's exactly what you would ask. This is Warlock. This is Warlock with DeForest Kelley.
Oh. Is this a Western?
This is a Western.
Okay.
1959. Richard Widmark and Henry Fonda.
Who directed that one?
Directed by Edward Dmytryk.
Wow, Warlock 69. Let's go into some Westerns here. We don't do that enough around here.
Exactly. Widmark, Fonda, and Anthony Quinn. There's a weird reason I'm going to give this movie to you, and we'll talk about it. And there's only one, and so we'll talk about it once we watch the movie.
Oh yeah, Entourage was.
You'll be like, "That's why you gave me that movie, really?" Like, yeah, that's why I gave it to you.
Hey, there's been lesser reasons, I'm sure, for these past episodes. Oh, Entourage was a double Mad Monster movie because David Arquette being in there for 2 seconds. So
yes, nice. Yes, he was in that movie. That's right.
Oh, yeah, so stay tuned, kids, because we're coming up on our... It'll be a few weeks. We're coming up on our holiday season. So we're going to be
Yes,
having
sir.
our Halloween, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Christmas stuff, and a few extra
That's right.
things coming up. Our 100th episode's coming up. We're going to have some
That's right.
specials, like I think we've hinted at before, Talking Math Owl should happen at some point. And, of course, the long-awaited Talking Figgy Pondo, where we discuss mixed nuts and mazes monsters with Dylan J. Schlender. It'll
I
happen, guys.
cannot wait.
It
I
will
cannot
happen.
wait.
So
I cannot wait for that episode. I'm so excited about it. Well, all right. So that's it. So that means After Hours and Warlock.
there's no glory for a robot, Elliot. Do your own thing.
I will let no man see the darkness inside of me.
Why did he get so mad when Lloyd wants to talk to him?
Later, man.
Later.
Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, like us on YouTube, or give us a 5-star rating on the podcast app of your choice.